Today's our topic is plant movements. Last chapter of this unit, we are going to learn about the introduction, classification of plant movements, and the different type of nastic and tropic movements. So it is a part of plant physiology and it is placed in the first unit. And here I'll share my screen and start explaining today's lecture, which is on the plant movements. So basically what we think that if there is any movement, one picture comes in our mind that some living organisms are moving from one place to another place. But in case of plants, it's not like that. The movements are there, but it is of different kind. Like movements of curvature, there may be movements of locomotion, there may be different type of movements, and that we are going to learn in detail in today's lecture. So let me share a screen. In the plant movements, first of all, I'm going to introduce this topic to you and try to understand what are the movements which are seen in the plants. Basically, there are some kind of orientations in the plants. Now, orientations means moving towards any point. These are called as a orientations. This orientation may be in uh, this orientation may be in any part of the plant or entire plant. It can move towards that particular thing. So those are called as the plant movements actually. Now actually there are some stimulus. What do you mean by stimulus? It may be gravity, it may be light, it may be water. So different kind of stimuli are present in the nature. It may be an electric shock, it may be wind, it may be touch. Due to what? The plants, they respond. So the response to the stimulus is nothing but plant movement. Okay. So the movement of the plant, it is towards the stimulus, or it may uh, go away from the stimulus. If it is moving towards the stimulus, it is called as positive movement. If the plants are moving away from the stimulus, it is called as the negative movement. Okay. So there are some changes in the plant, and it is observed that out of the total movements, some are reversible changes and some are irreversible changes. Reversible means they will orient themselves and come back to the position. Irreversible means if they are moving towards the stimulus, they will not move away. There will be no change. So there are movements where changes can be seen, and there are movements which are irreversible. Reversible movements and irreversible movements are the two types of movements seen in the plants. Now, there are lot of stimuli, there are lot of reasons in the plant movements, and according to that, classification is done. The classification of plant movements here I am showing to you, and here the plant movements are classified into two types. One is called as the movements of locomotion, another one is called as movements of curvature. Movements of locomotion are, some are spontaneous movements and some are induced movements. Spontaneous movements means the movements which are coming from inside, from the organism itself, from the plant body itself. These are called as movements of spontaneous. Now, this spontaneity may be due to ciliary, it may be due to amoeboid, or it may be due to cyclosis. There are some amoeba, there are some bacteria, organisms are there which are moving with the help of cilia like that. And coming to the induced movements are tactic movements. In the tactic, there are chemotactic movements, phototaxis, and thermotaxis. Tactic movements are considered as a locomotory movements. Coming to the second type of movement, it is called as movements of curvature. Now here, one thing I just left, which is called as cyclosis. There are some bacterial cells or very, very microscopic cells of algae which show rotation, which show circulation, etc. So these are all spontaneous movements. And here, induced movements contain tactic movements. Tactic movements which are shown by the flagella of algal cells. Chemotactic, phototactic, thermotactic, etc. Now coming to the second type of movement, it is called as movements of curvature. Movements of curvature are again divided into mechanical movements and vital movements. In mechanical, hygroscopic movements can be seen depending upon the water. Vital means important movements, again classified into spontaneous and induced. Spontaneous vital are moments of variation, moments of growth. So these are also called as a growth movement. Spontaneous means self. Okay. Now these growth movements are again nutation, hyponasty, and epinasty. So these are the movements of growth. Hyponasty, epinasty, you will have an idea in the coming lecture. Vital movements are important as far as our syllabus is concerned. Because vital movements are divided into spontaneous and induced. Induced vital movements are nothing but paratonic movements. The term which is mentioned in our syllabus. Paratonic movements are nothing but induced movements. And in this, there are two types. One is a tropical movement and another one is called as the nastic movement. So these two things which we are going to study in our syllabus. Which one? Nastic movements and tropical movements. Coming to the nastic movement. Now, depending upon the direction of stimulus, there are two type of movements. Here, you can see this is the classification of paratonic movements. We can call it as well as. Whereas tropical movements are the reactions related to direction of stimulus, whereas nastic movements are unrelated to the direction of stimulus. There are responses. Of course, here also there is a response. Here also there is a response. But the difference is in tropical responses, it is related to the direction of stimulus. And in nastic, it is unrelated to the direction of stimulus. One by one, we will see, first of all, nastic movements, undirectional movements in the plants. As I just told you, what are nastic movements? These are responses to stimulus, but these are non-directional responses. They are usually associated with the plants itself. For example, why there are nastic movements? If you think, it came to know that there are changes due to turgor pressure. There are changes due to changes in the growth and due to changes in the osmotic potential. Nastic movement, it takes place due to several reasons. What are the reasons? The reasons are changes in the turgidity, changes in the growth, and changes in the osmotic potential. Here, it is seen that the direction of movement, it may be independent of stimulus position. Okay, and the it may be or it may not be growth movement. Of course, there is a change, but it may not be a growth movement. This point you will come to know in the coming slides. Always the nastic movements are named. How it is named? Always there is a suffix at the end of the word this is attached. We call it as suffix. and at the beginning of the word, this is attached. Stimulus name is attached. So the nastic movements are like that. For example, photo nasty. Photo, it is a prefix and it indicates the name of stimulus like sunlight. Nasty, photo nasty. Nasty, always it is used as a suffix. Photo nasty, thermo nasty, like that. So these are the nastic movements. Now let us take one by one different types of nastic movements. In the nastic movements, first of all comes photonastic. In nature, there are some plants which always respond to light. Actually, light in the sense sunlight. So they respond to the light. And this type of plant movement is called as the photonasty. It is seen that there is always change in the intensity of light. There are changes in the fluctuations of intensity of light. You can see in the morning, sunlight may be different. In the afternoon, sunlight may be different. Intensity may be different. And in the evening, it may differ. So according to the changes in the fluctuations of intensity of light, the movement of plant organ takes place. For example, some flowers, they open in the morning and they close in the evening. So it is controlled by whom? It is controlled by the light, actually sunlight. So what are the parts which are showing response? Flower petals are showing response. These are the flowers and these are the petals. So these petals, they show response. For example, night blooming jasmine, which is a botanical name of this is Cestrum nocturnal plant. So these are night blooming jasmine plants. We call it as the photonasty movement. Second type of nastic movement is called as thermonasty. Thermo, it means temperature. The stimulus here is temperature. So if there are responses of growth to the changes in the temperature of the atmosphere, we call together as the thermonastic movements. For example, the tulip flowers. These tulip flowers, they observe to open their petals. The flowers get open when temperature rises, and when temperature cools down, these flowers, they get closed. So here there are so many examples of thermonasty where plant organs, they show response. Like flowers, leaves are there, there are small branches. According to temperature, they move. Okay, so the reason for this thermonastic movement is differential growth. The growth, it differs in the presence of temperature or in the presence of high temperature, and in the presence of low temperature. What happens? The growth, it changes. There is change in the turgidity. In the previous chapter, we have learned what is meant by turgidity, what is meant by flaccidity, isn't it? We have seen in the stomatal opening and closing why the guard cells, they become turgid, why the guard cells, they become flaccid, etc. So when they are showing changes in the turgidity, movements also happen. Movements also happen. So the reason for thermonasty is growth differences, turgor differences, okay, or changes in the uh, petal part, changes in the petiole part, okay. There are changes in the lamina of the leaf, etc. These are all the reasons for thermonasty. Coming to the next nastic movement, next nastic movement is nyctinasty. Nyctinasty are generally called as sleeping movements of the plants. You may have seen that there are some plants which just close their leaves in the night. These are called as sleeping movements. Now, here the rhythmic response has been seen. Rhythmic response means it is a response to biological clock. According to clock, changes are seen. That is, in the daytime, they are different, and in the night time, they are different. This type of movements are called as sleeping movements. Example is, there are so many leaflets of the plant, leaves of the plants. For example, leguminous plants. They show such type of movements. Actually, the leaves, they spread in the morning and they fold in the evening. Lamina of the leaf, it is spread in the morning and it is folding in the night. This type of movement is called as nyctinasty movement. Here also, reason is same. What are the causes? Why such type of changes occur? Such type of changes occur due to change in the cell size, due to change in the cell size of leaflets, cell size of leaf base, etc. Okay, so there is change in the size of the cell. So if the size of the cell is changing, ultimately they will move. They will spread at one time and they will close at one time. This is the thing. For example, oxalis and leguminous plants, etc. This type of movement is called as the nyctinasty. What are the nastic movements we have seen? Photonasty, due to sunlight. Thermonasty, due to temperature. Nyctinasty, due to biological clock, daytime and nighttime. And next thing we are going to learn is about seismonasty. Seismonasty is also called as thigmonastic movement. You may have seen in some of the plants, like in the Mimosa pudica. In Mimosa pudica, if you just touch them, what will happen? The whole leaflets will get closed. They will be closed. And petiole, it gets down, isn't it? Such type of movements which are due to touch or which are due to blow of wind or which are due to some electric current, such movements are called as seismonastic movements. When they are coming in contact with the foreign body, immediately the leaves close. Even it is seen in the raindrop also. This raindrop, when it comes in contact with the leaves, it will close. This is called as the seismonastic movement. So the leaves and leaflets, they will fold, they will respond to touch. The upper side, it gets shrink. Why the leaf is closing? Because the why the leaves are closing? Because the upper side cells are shrinking. So when they are shrinking, ultimately they will come close. So the petiole also, it gets down because the lower side of the petiole, it gets shrinked. Okay, so that is the thing which are seen in the Mimosa pudica. This is called as a seismonastic movement. Seismonastic movement is very, very fast to the stimulus. Already I told you, it may be due to touch, it may be due to electrical shock, or it may be due to any chemical stimulus. Suppose any chemical comes in contact, it may be due to raindrops. Okay, so these are all called as the seismonastic movements. So we are learning plant movements. In that nastic movement, I am explaining to you. Now there is one last diagram. Here you have to, why there is a upward movement of the leaf, why there is a downward movement of the leaf, you have to understand. So at last I have kept this special slide for you. Why there is a why there is a upward movement? Upward movement is due to hyponasty and downward movement is due to epinasty. This is a normal structure, plant part. If there is a bending of plant organ due to more growth on the lower side, see here, why it is moving upward? Because there is more growth on the lower side. If there is more growth on the lower side, what will happen? They will bend in this manner. That's why they are closed. This is called as hypognostic. In the other one, if there is a more growth on the upper side, okay, if there is more growth on the upper side, what will happen? They will bend downward. They will bend downward. Such type of movement is called as epinasty. So whatever may be the stimulus, if the movement is upwards towards upside, or if the movement is towards downside, the reason is changes in the growth. The reason is changes in the growth. And just now I told you why it happens. So these are all different types of Gnostic movements. Now explain you about the tropic movements. Just now what we have seen all different type of Gnostic movements. Remember, Gnostic movements are the non-directional movements. Coming to the tropic movements. What are tropic movements? Tropic movements are the movements which are towards the stimulus, according to the direction of the stimulus, like that. So in geotropism is the first example. Tropical movements are of different types. Geotropism. Geotropism means these are the movements due to gravitational pull, gravitational force due to earth. So the movement of the plant, it takes place due to the earth surface. Here in this diagram you can see that the shoots are growing upward and the roots are growing downward. This is called as positively geotropic growth, and this is called as negatively geotropic growth. So the roots are positively geotropic and stems and flowers are negatively geotropic. So why this, the stimulus here is, gravitational pull. Okay. So who is perceiving this gravitational pull? Who is perceiving? The tip regions are perceiving. For example, shoot tips are perceiving and root tips are perceiving. Perceiving means showing response. Okay. So the geo means earth. That response is perceived by root or shoot apex, and that's why they show that type of movement. And here it is saying that when there is a movement, geotropic movement, one hormone it gets synthesized. This hormone is auxin. Which hormone? Auxin. What is a hormone? It is a biochemical substance synthesized by the plant. Hormone. Example is auxin. Geotropism. Next tropical movement is phototropism. The stimulus is sunlight. This has been discovered by Darwin in 1880. According to him, the tropical movements are shown by the plants in response to light, that is sunlight. Now there are unequal growth in the cells. Actually what is happening? Unequal growth in the cells on two sides. Just remember, suppose this is a root apex. If the growth is same in both the sides, it will go like this. Okay. If the growth is less here and the growth is more here, what will happen? It will be like this. If the growth is higher in this region and growth is lower in this region, what will happen? It will move like this. I think it is understood. So unequal growth in the cell on the two sides below the tip of the coleoptile, and it causes bending of the coleoptile towards the light. ओके जब दोनों तरफ इक्वल होगा तो सीधा ग्रोथ होगा, लेकिन जब अनइक्वालिटी हो जाएगा हार्मोन का या ग्रोथ का तो क्या होगा? बेंडिंग देखने को मिलेगा. So there are so many examples like oats, weeds, maize, epicotyl region, hypocotyl region of pea plants and sunflower plants. This is the second type of tropic movement. Geotropism, phototropism. In phototropism also you can see positive phototropism towards light, negative phototropism away from light. Some stems, leaves, they bend towards light. we call it as positive. If they are moving out, we call them as negative. So roots are the examples of negative phototropism. They always bend away from the light. And what is the reason? Reason is same, unequal growth of the cells on the two sides. Now, here in the next slide, it will be clear to you. See this slide, observe it carefully. I just told you that due to light, this young shoot, it is growing towards the light. It is positively phototropic. Why it is growing towards the light? Because I told you, reason is hormone. The hormone, it gets deposited on the shady area. Okay. So when hormone is in the shady area, naturally growth will be more in this area. So if growth is more, see here, if cells are growing more in this area and less in this area, what will happen? It will bend. It will bend. Okay. So I think it is clear to you why it is bending towards the light. Answer is due to growth hormone. Which hormone? Auxin. Where it accumulates? It accumulates in the shady area. So when it is accumulating in the shady area, there will be rapid growth. Cell division will be more, length of the cell also increases. So growth will be more at one region and growth will be less in the another region. So that's why it is bending towards the light. This is one more diagram where it will be clear to you. Here, see, sunlight is here. It is falling here. And these are all pink dots are growth hormones, auxin molecules. So where they are accumulating, they will go away from the light. They will be in the shady area. In the shady area, if they are accumulating, naturally growth will be more in this area. So that's why it is bending towards the light. Next tropic movement is hydrotropism, movement towards the water, response of a plant organ towards the water. So here you can definitely you can do this experiment by keeping a water pot, porous water pot in the sand and keeping a small germinating seed here. You can observe that after some time or after few hours, there will be growth of this young root towards the water in order to get the water. So this growth, it is towards this stimulus, towards the water. So if the growth is towards the water, we call this tropic movement as a hydrotropism. It is seen in the root of some species. Stems, seedlings, they do not show any kind of change. Only roots, they show such kind of change. Another example of hydrotropism is pollen tube. Pollen grains, they germinate in presence of water. That is also one of the example. We call it as a positive hydrotropism. So how many types of tropic movements we have seen? One is geotropism, next phototropism, and then hydrotropism. Coming to thigmotropism. The stimulus present in this movement is touch. Suppose if any climber, it comes in contact with a rod or a stick or a wall or any support, it will immediately form a spring-like structure. This kind of movement is called as thigmotropism. There are some examples like climbers, tendrils they are produced. These tendrils, they show positive response. There are some plants, vine, grape plants, okay, they coil around the supporting object. Most of the convolvulaceae members, they show such type of movement. So when the stems, they come in contact with the support, immediately they will produce or they will roll around it. They will produce any tendril to take the support. This type of movement is called as thigmotropism. Examples I already told you. There are some gourds, bottle gourds, grapevines, pea plants, etc. Next one is chemotropism. Movement of the plant in response to any chemical substance is called as chemotropism. You can see best example of chemotropism is germination of a pollen grain towards the ovule. Here, in order to complete the fertilization process, this ovule, it secretes some sticky substance. It secretes a biochemical substance, nectar or any like that, any another product like that. So due to this chemical attraction, pollen grains, they germinate towards that biochemical substance. So what is the stimulus here? Chemical is a stimulus. Pollen tube, it always grows towards the embryo sac itself. And why? What is the reason? Because here this ovary, it is continuously releasing chemicals in order to attract the pollen grains. And due to what? The process of fertilization is completed in the angiosperms. So this type of tropism, this type of movement is called as chemotropism. This chemotropism is also seen in the roots of trees. It is observed that always these roots, they grow towards the good soil. And suppose if in the soil there is any toxic material, toward that toxic chemical substance, roots do not grow. They will always tend to move away from the toxic substances. They always grow towards the good soil. What is meant by good soil? Good soil means where lot of minerals are present. Lot of minerals are present. So in towards that area only, the roots they will grow. So moving away from toxic substances is called as negative chemotropism. Whereas moving away, moving towards the minerals, okay, moving towards the major elements and minor elements is called as positive chemotropism. So two kind of things are also seen in the chemotropic movement. So students, here uh, we come to the end of our movements. Tropic movements, geotropic movement, phototropic movement, and hydrotropic, thigmotropic, and chemotropic movements.